standout performers of this weekend's UFC, Gillian the Savage Robertson. How you doing?
Doing great. Just got back home, Florida, so finally getting a day to relax, then back to work tomorrow.
I was gonna say, how many days are you gonna give it? You're gonna give it one, and then you're back on it.
He told me to do like a 9-day rest, but I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. So yeah, me and Dean are gonna start drilling again tomorrow.
Hey, he tells me, I just had him on the podcast earlier. It's going to drop tomorrow, and he did tell me that you usually listen to him. So 9 days it is. You got to listen to a Dean.
Well, no, it wasn't Dean. It was the UFC doctor that told me 9 days. Dean and I aren't going to listen. Dean agrees with me. We should get back to work.
Champion stuff. Let's get into it. UFC Apex over the weekend defeated Courtney Casey. Dominating fashion, 2 rounds, total domination, control. But then in the third, another dominating round, 30 seconds left. Dean Thomas says, we can get a finish here. You get the finish. That's 5 for you. Record breaking for females, submission wins. How was the performance? How do you feel about it? And put a bow on the weekend.
Honestly, I'm not necessarily I don't feel like that was the best knee out there. I'm not necessarily proud of my performance this weekend. I feel like I could have utilized my ground and pound a lot better, and it just I made a lot of mistakes that I usually just don't make in training. I wasn't things that I've been working on a lot and that I should have been doing, I just didn't use as much. And obviously I'm happy to get the win, but it wasn't the best Gillian out there,
Okay. Hey, a win though. Courtney Casey, tough. That definitely gets you in the rankings now, especially another submission win. Don't be too hard on yourself. It was a great performance by you. Also, too, what I noticed, right, with us, I watch every event, being in the media and talking to everyone. You see everything, but sometimes, the middle class America, and it doesn't go mainstream. But this event was on ESPN, also an earlier start. So a lot of my friends and family members were like, hey, they were into the show, and I told them, well. Halfway towards the prelims, Gillian Savage Robertson. So everyone was into it. Seems like you have a really good buzz, really good limelight after that performance this past weekend.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome to be on ESPN and to be the only sport in the world that's literally playing right now. So both those things, it's it really put a lot of attention on the fighters. And I guess I'm happy that I could get the finish then,
Yeah, for sure. They'll remember that. I was talking with Dean earlier today. Fans love finishes. It's like a home run or a big slam dunk or a touchdown. Is it vital for you you keep on getting finishes? You like that record? It's always good to win, but are you more of a finisher than just getting the W?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm in there to I don't get paid by the minute. I'm in there to get in and out of there as fast as possible. It's Dean always says to me, he's like, you're either going to finish them or you're just going to be beating their ass for 15 minutes to the point where it's man, I just didn't have enough time. I was just all over them 10-8 rounds. So that's what we're going for every single time.
No, that's awesome. Have you trademarked that blanket and cubby yet? Blanket cuddle, and that's a T-shirt, a line. You gotta trademark that.
It was so funny. It was as soon as I got off, we were in her corner. So it was as soon as I got off of her, she just turned to her corner and said that right in front of me. She's like a fucking blanket. I was like, don't say that in front of me. You're not supposed to let me know.
I love it. But okay, after the fight, it seemed like you had a very good celebration. Newly teammate, friend, Hannah Goldy. She said that you just wanted a pizza, a decent sized pizza, and you got one of the biggest pizzas in the history of man. Tell me how the night went afterwards.
It was a complete accident. So we were just sitting there and we wanted to order a pizza, and we're like, whoa, what size should we get? And they had 10 different sizes, and we ordered a 30-inch pizza, and it wasn't even the biggest size. There was 3 or 4 sizes bigger than it. So, wow. And it was only $35. So I was like, oh, 30 inches probably isn't that big if it's only $35. Right. And then the Uber Eats driver got there, and he was like, you guys ordered a big pizza. And we're like, what do you mean? And we're like, oh gosh. When we saw the size of the box, we definitely realized it was a mistake at that point.
Yeah. After a win like that, you can never eat too much pizza. But it seemed like afterwards, the picture kind of is going viral. You yourself, Lauren Murphy, Tisha, and Raquel, how did it feel to be with a good group of, just females and fighters? And looked like you guys were having a good time. You guys had a great smile on your face. How did it feel to win with great ladies in the same night?
Oh, it's awesome to hang out with those girls. Like Tisha used to train at ATT, so it's like I've known her for years. Hannah trained with her a couple times, and it was my first time meeting Raquel. But I've honestly been such a huge fan of hers for years. Like since the Ultimate Fighter years, I was always rooting for her when she was on. I think she was on Ronda's. I don't know, she was on Misha's team back in the day, and yeah, so it's just awesome. And Lauren Murphy, obviously, in the Tough House with me. So I'm already close with her. So it's just awesome to be around those girls again.
Absolutely. And I talked to Lauren as well. She was so proud of her performance in a win and just moving up the flyweight ranking. She thinks she's right there. But she also was so impressed with you. She had really kind and high regards to you. So it just seems good that the divisions as a whole, and especially a champion with Valentina Shevchenko, one of the greatest female fighters of all time. Are you already kind of watching and maybe game planning and little things watching Valentina, the champ in your division?
I don't necessarily expect that fight anytime soon, but always I'm watching her, and I know that obviously I see maybe in a year or two that matchup's going to happen, but not within these next couple fights.
Okay. And then also, I remember one of your friends, Amanda Nunes, just won a big UFC 250. We talked about it before, one of the greatest female champions of all time. What did you see in the Felicia Spencer performance? How do you think Amanda is? And then there's a lot of retirement talks, and we know, a baby's on the way. So how do you think Amanda's next year is going to be?
Amanda, since before the Felicia fight, Amanda said she wanted to retire. She was like, I want to defend both belts, be the first person ever, male or female, to hold both belts and defend them both at the same time. And then she's like, I want to retire after that, set that record, and she was done. So it's like, I feel like she's had her mind made up like this for a long time. But obviously that Felicia is tough as shit. To be able to go 5 rounds with Amanda, 5 rounds with Cyborg, that, there's nothing more impressive than that.
Right, yeah, she just she's like a walking zombie out there. She just keeps on coming and coming, tough as nails, like you said. But okay, let's get into news that kind of just broke hours ago. It seems like you're definitely locked into July 12th Submission Underground. How did that come to be so fast? And we talk about this so much, Gillian, that how many times you like doing, regional rolling and BJJ events just to kind of keep yourself going and keep busy in competition. So how does it feel to, be on Submission Underground, which is on UFC Fight Pass?
Okay, so I was just sitting on the plane coming back from Vegas, and I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw they released the fight card for Sub Underground that night, and because they just had one 2 days ago, I think.
Right.
Yesterday,
Sunday.
Actually. Yeah. And I saw it was Jessica I versus Amanda Lowen, so I commented on it. I was excited for Jessica I versus Amanda Lowen, and available if you guys need an opponent for her on the next opponent for the winner on the next Sub Underground. So I just called out the winner there. And then a couple hours later, I was watching Sub Underground, and Chael Sonnen just announced it at the end, at the end of the show. He was like, "Oh, and Gillian Robertson will be here going against our winner." And that was how I found out, was on the TV watching. So I was like, "Oh, that's so dope." So they just messaged me today, and we got everything set up. So now it's official, and I'll be competing against Amanda Lowen on July 12th.
Wow, no, that's awesome. And wow, so they literally announced it before you even kind of gave it the okay, or said, "Yeah, I'm definitely doing it," because maybe you didn't know about the performance, but you were happy with that going forward with Submission Underground.
Oh yeah, I was just talking shit on Instagram. I was just yeah, I'll do it. And then whenever they said my name, I was like, holy shit! Oh, they actually they read that. So I thought it was dope. I was excited as soon as I heard it.
Oh, that's awesome. But going back to the Apex, how did it feel to fight into a smaller cage? A lot of people, myself included, thought that's an advantage for you. You definitely want to be close to your fighter. You would like to be attached. You would love to get the blanket and cuddle. So how did it feel to fight in that 25-footer?
Oh, it's definitely a grappler's cage. You
Right.
Take 2 steps back and their back's against the cage. She was trying to use a lot of linear footwork, trying to get some footwork movement, but it's every time she was just so close to the fence. Every time I shot the double leg, she was already up there, So it's definitely a grappler's cage.
For sure. No, that's awesome. Another one in front of ours, both Hannah Goldy. Talked to her a couple of times going into Saturday, and she was just so happy for you, so genuine for you. And we've talked about it too. Just what a perfect match I think that you guys are and going forward. How cool was it to have Hannah in your first corner this first time and kind of going forward? Where do you see your relationship going?
It was definitely nice to finally have someone my size in the corner. Usually it's always Dean, and he's heavy. So just shooting double legs on him is different than shooting a double leg on Hannah. But so it was nice to have her there. It was nice. All through fight week, she's just always so supportive. Like anytime I'm going for a run, anything like that, she's always there with me. And we both, like, she's, I believe, looking at something for August-ish, and they're talking to me about September, so we'll be a part of each other's next 2 fight camps as well.
No, that's awesome. That was going to be my next and almost last question with you. Gillian Savage Robertson, big win this past weekend. You always say how active you want to be. So is that, you just threw out the month of September. Would you love back in September? And also, I thought you did, brilliant there at the Apex. Would you, if that's still going, is that a little, hey, I would rather maybe take an Apex show with the smaller cage, or no, a fight's a fight. I'll fight anywhere. I know you were really excited about fighting in Canada this time too. So, what's the date-ish, and, doesn't matter where you're going to fight in?
Nick just told Dean September, so that's why we're assuming around that date. I would love August, honestly. August would be a perfect turnaround time for me, but I'm okay with September too. 3 months is still a good time for me, and a good time to really see myself improve over these next couple months and really excel. And honestly, I would love to fight at the Apex again. To fight at the, just not necessarily, well, obviously the cage size is a plus for me, but just it's an unreal experience with no crowd there. How it was almost too chill. I was so relaxed in there, and she was talking to her corner, I was talking to mine, all through the fight. I was talking to the ref. It just seemed like an extremely relaxed scenario in there, and it was different than any other fight. Even after winning, I was I almost felt weird for celebrating. I'm it's awkward, it's silent in here.
Right. Wow. One thing, and then you were saying in September, is it you want someone kind of in front of you? Does it make more sense for you going forward to Montana Del Rosa, or how about an Andrea Lee? What is something like that? Or you're just not, whatever the next step is, the next fight that they give you, you'll take it.
If they got a neck I can cuddle, I'm good with that.
I'm telling you, that's a t-shirt, right? That's a t-shirt.
Oh, definitely.
That's awesome. Gillian, man, we appreciate you all the time you come on. I just joked about it. If 300's around the corner, we're around 255-ish, so we'll always have you back for 300. We had you on for 100 and 200. But if Israel Adesanya wants this spot at 300, he has to wait. Gillian gets number 300, all right?
All right. I'll hold you to that.
I appreciate your time, Gillian. Have a great night and a very successful weekend for you. Very happy.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Later. Have a good one.
You too.